Wild win a big one today. Friday, Black Friday edition. Didn't have an episode yesterday. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Welcome to the Twin Cities Sports Talk, where we talk Minnesota sports exclusively. Following along today with a little Gophers pregame chat about the fight for Paul Bunyan's axe against the Wisconsin Badgers. But today, the big story, except for maybe the Bears and Eagles game, Bears end up winning that one. Kind of sucks, but we all hate the Eagles too, so it's kind of a win-lose situation there. I'm getting off topic. Wild win against the best team in the NHL. At the Avalanche were coming into this game 16-1-4, and now they have a second loss to that total. Actually, let me correct myself. It was an overtime loss. We got them in a shootout. So technically, they just have another overtime loss on that third column in the win-loss record. So, nope, sorry. They still won outright loss in this season so far, but still, they are on pace to break the NHL record for points or the record for the record in a season. Either way, the Wild game, super fun game to watch today. I'm just going to cover a lot of stuff from that game and get to a little bit of a shorter pregame for the Gophers. But this was a great game. So, first thing I got to say is the thing that was iffy coming in and the thing that they needed to do to win the game was to just match the speed and match the intensity that the Avalanche bring every game. And the Wild did exactly that. They matched them in every aspect of the game. Skating up ice on the forecheck, on defense, on like getting to pucks on the boards, getting in front of the net in scrappy plays. They did everything they needed to win the game, and it paid off very well. And to be honest, this was one of the more even games I've seen in a while in the NHL. Like playoffs here, the shots were basically the same exact thing. Time of possession, both teams had like on 5-on-5. Both teams had their own like smidgets of time in the zone. And the Wild would have it in there for 2 minutes controlling, and then the Avs would come down and hold it for 3 minutes in there, find a few good shots. But it was just a very professional game, and it was super fun to watch because a lot of good offensive action, but then some good defensive plays too. The goaltending was amazing. We'll talk about that more in a bit. It was a super fun game. I just can't keep harping about that, so I have to move on here. Marcus Foligno, this was his first game being out, and he has to be out for at least 3 games, just recovering from something lower body. I forget the exact thing that he is kind of dealing with because in the NHL, they keep the injury stuff so scarce, so not like available to the media, really. Lower body or upper body injury. That's how they roll by. We all know that. But so with Marcus Foligno out, you're gonna have a bit of an empty presence of an aggressiveness, a hitter, like just a big body, aggressive dude in there. So you need someone to step up, and that person today was Ryan Hartman. Ryan Hartman, this was his first game back, being back from the injury reserve or whatever they call it in the NHL. But he really stepped up today in a huge way. And he stepped up in that aspect. He beat guys to pucks. He was hitting. He was starting some not fights, but he was starting some scrap piles with some guys on the halves. But that's Ryan Hartman for you. In this type of a game, he had a few great plays on offense, which led to one of the goals today. And he was just a presence. And that's just the simplest way to put it. He was there. He was doing his job, being an aggressor, awesome player today. And this is how he played to start the season. And we need to see this more consistently because in some games, he looks like he comes not ready to play or not putting in the most effort he could be. But it's definitely something we need to see more of because it's in Ryan Hartman. We all know that. We've seen it in the playoffs last year. He was this type of level. I mean, maybe the good thing with it is he does come to play against the big teams, the big good teams that he needs to, but I don't know. He doesn't all the time, so it's a problem. All right. The three guys on the Avs, McKinnon, Landeskog, and Makar, had chances. Okay. But here's the thing. Against that trio in this Avs team, it's impossible to not let chances for them go by. Like Makar, he had a lot of shots today. McKinnon had a lot of chances too. He was skating around, just like what Kirill does, kind of play make here and find passes for other guys too. And Landeskog had a few good. I mean, in overtime, Landeskog had one go right off the post. Could have ended the game right there. He was about an inch away. And yes, they had a lot of chances, which I've seen a lot of people already talking about from this game. Like, yeah, we won, but those guys kind of just did everything for the Avs. They could have won it really easily. Well, you limited the chances as much you could, but and you for the like when there's one guy, you can kind of put all your chips in him. In like a Connor Bedard, you can just slide all your chips that way. Make sure he does not get as many chances on like a good guy on a bad team. Like that's how they should have been defending Celebrini when we were playing the Sharks a few weeks ago. Either way, they did what they could, and this is a credit to the block shots and again the goaltending from yet again Jesper Wallstedt, another gem of a game for the kid, and he just keeps improving. But it credits the block shots, guys getting in the lane and not letting that puck get to the net on a bunch of these. All right, let's talk Jesper Wallstedt. 41 shots on goal from the Avs today, and he saved 39 of them. Absolutely brilliant game from Jesper, and exactly what you need to see in a huge game today. Like I said, the Avs going into this game, I think we're 16-1, and I think 4 losses in overtime. This is the game where you could see a young goalie like him kind of just sink into himself, not be aggressive, not sealing the puck, not sealing the crease. It's a game where a lot of young guys struggle. You're playing a big team. You have some injuries. Obviously, you get Hartman back, but losing Foligno, that's a big body that is blocking a lot of shots every game and limiting chances for the other team. But the one thing I wanted to see was how Wallstedt responded to starting the biggest game of his career so far. And my gosh, he did amazing. And it was super fun to watch. He had a few frantic little plays where he tried gathering the puck and then it kind of scooted away from him. One of them, an Avs player, kind of flipped it from the midline and it kind of bounced in front of him, kind of a bad chance. And that one, I think you just need to not as much try to get your stick out there and grab it when it's bouncing puck like that. Just let it come into you and just put your glove on it right away. Don't try to gather it with the stick and get into the glove because the puck's bouncing. But I mean, what do I know? I'm just an idiot on a podcast, as me and Trevor like to say. But great game by him, and maybe just a few things he needs to keep working on. But he stays calm. I mean, you see Cale Makar driving down the lane for the Avs, and he does not flinch. He doesn't whimper in those situations at all. He's right there facing him. He's not overreacting on a save. He's not overdoing it. He's just, I mean, his nickname screams volumes right there. He's a brick wall, the Great Wall of St. Paul. So it is amazing to see, and it does so much for your team because Gus doesn't need to be there 70% of the games now. They can do a 50-50 split if Wallstedt keeps this going. One thing I did like about the entire game, Avs and Wild too, that like I said, very aesthetically pleasing to watch this game. Just so flowy. Offense ruled the game. Block shots on defense. Not a lot of stoppages, okay? It was a chippy, aggressive game. There were some guys getting in some scuffles at times, but that's what division games are. But very fundamentally sound game with not many penalties. The 2 penalties that were in the game and one for each team, those were both in the first period. I have to say that one on Zeev Buium, that was unlucky. That was stupid because I think the Avs player kind of grabbed his stick with his arm there, and then I think he went on the backside of the net, and then Zeev's stick broke, and Zeev was pulled through because the stick got wedged in between the net. which sucks. But either way, fundamentally sound game. Not any penalties, but it's not like teams weren't taking chances. It's just good passing. It was a good hockey game to watch. It would have been super fun to be there. But yeah, it was a great game to watch. If there was an edge today, like if you had to tell me which team played better, it obviously is the Wild because I mean, you need to play better. So say you beat a team that's 16-1-4, you were the better team today because that's just how their record goes and that's how you can determine that. But what I like to look at is what I've been talking about a lot is limiting opportunities for the Avs and that big three on the first line and how many shots you blocked, how many hits you had, how aggressive you were, because that's been the Wild's trademark here for the past couple weeks. This 7-game winning streak they're on, it's been aggressiveness, it's been getting to the puck first, it's been all of this stuff. So today, the Wild beat the Avs in hits 25-12, and then they beat the Avs in blocked shots 17-12. So the Avs, but here's the thing with the Avs, okay? The Avs play a very different style than the Wild do. Much more of a like finessey type style of play from the Avs. They're finding shots through a bunch of slick passing, and they are super fast. A fast team all around. I mean, Cale Makar, McKinnon, those guys are some of the fastest players in the league, and they can blow by anyone. Okay. But here's why the Wild were successful at limiting their opportunities is because the Wild, they stayed in structure. Okay. And what I mean by that is they're not the Avs know how to pass the puck very well. You could see it today. They know where guys are on the ice. They know where their teammates are going to be. And what I mean by staying in structure is that they aren't going to chase a puck that they know they can't get to because these Avs are very, like I said, very sound with their passes. So if the pass sails, a lot of the time it's for a guy in the corner. Like if there's a guy on top and he chucks it to the right and misses someone, quote unquote, misses someone, it's usually going towards the bottom. And the Wild staying in structure, they don't go chase that, which in a lot of the times you do, but sometimes one of the goals was in the corner where I forget who it was, but the puck, Kirill had it for a second. He got his stick lifted, and one of the Avs players just whipped it in front of the net, and McKinnon was right in front of there, and he kind of just slid it right in through Wallstead, and it was a quick goal. But that one is them knowing, and there's a layer to like everyone knows. Just put the puck in front of the net, and things can happen. But the Avs do it so much. The Avs find shots. They don't lollygag. They're going to shoot the puck and get the rebounds. I mean, Cale Makar driving in, he's looking for a shot every time he gets the puck. Okay. And they're so sound with their entire offense, but staying in system is not doing stupid things and going to get a puck that's too far away from you where you could once you get out there, you could be out in no man's land. They get a quick pass down low, and then someone's streaking right into the slot where you were supposed to be, but you tried going out and hitting the puck out of the zone, resetting a little bit, and then someone's streaking down right through the lane, right into the slot, and they get a quick, easy pass because that happened a few times today. So staying in system, the Wild were perfect at it today, and they really that's why they won the game, and it helps with block shots because these shots being thrown by the net wristers or slappers from far away, the Wild are getting in front of them. So that is, I think, one of the better things too. The goalies played an amazing game today. I think it was kind of one lucky goal for each because I truly think really each only gave up one legit goal where they couldn't do much about it. Because one got past Wedgwood off Kirill's skate, which that one's unlucky. It stinks for them because Wedgwood played an amazing game and he's going to be a great goalie too. but that was the Wild first goal, kind of an unlucky one for the Avs. And then Landeskog fanned on an original pass from McKinnon, and then the puck didn't kind of move. I think whoever the Wild player was down there kind of just tried hitting it away, but it hit off Landeskog's skate again, and he could regain it. And he regained it and shot it right in because he kind of fanned on the first take of it, regathered it, and threw it right into the net. And Wallstead was a bit too slow to get over for that, even with the having to regain the puck there, which sucks because that could have been limited right there. All right, next piece. Biggest breakout player this year for the Wild so far, and this isn't best player because best player would go to Kirill or maybe even Jesper Wallstead. But breakout player, Yakov Trenin. The play he set up with the pass to Hartman, and then Hartman with the quick pass to Kirill, and Kirill one-timed it all the way home into the net for that second goal. That was all set up by Yakov Trenin, and Trenin has been so much better this year. I mean, last year he was unplayable. For lack of a better phrase there, for lack of a better word, he was unplayable. In this offseason, he really learned how to skate better, and he learned how to pass the puck in a way, and honestly, just to be a good hockey player, like a playable hockey player, because he is finding passes. I think it was 2 games ago, he was behind the net, got a steal, and then put it and center it right for, I think it was Yurov a few games ago. I don't remember which game, but Trenin has been great, and he's been a reliable source for passing. He's being very aggressive like he always should be with his size, but he has been the stick handling, the skating, and the passing. He's not a scorer, so those are the things he needs to do well, and he's doing it well now, which is just such a positive for this team, because when you have injuries, you need guys like that to step up, and he certainly is, and it's been really good to watch. I think the most important about this team as a whole right now, this is what we call a winning formula, okay? The Wild are getting some of the best goaltending as a whole they've gotten in the past few years. It's been years since they've had goaltending this good from their 1A and 1B, I think we can call it for right now, or 1 and 2 goalie. And the aggressiveness on the forecheck these past 7 games to this entire month, because right now I think that makes 11 1-1 in November. Absolutely crazy. But the forecheck is so aggressive. They are blocking shots, and this is a winning formula. This is what they needed. This is playoff hockey for so many reasons. Just so many reasons. Playoff hockey consists of good goaltending and just being aggressive on both sides of the puck, offense and defense. It's that simple. That's how you win playoff games. That's how you win games in general, and they're proving it right now. They just beat the best team in the NHL because they did so good at these things today. All right. So the Wild now are improved to 14, 7-4. They are on a 7-game winning streak. And now they're looking at a bad Buffalo team and then a coasting Oilers team to start a 4-game Canada trip. I think the game after that is Calgary and then Vancouver, and then it's not Canada, but they travel to Seattle to end that homestand or to end that road trip. Seattle is the only team in there with a winning record. So right now, the Wild could make a big jump in the division if they can keep this aggressive play style going. They have the tools and the makeup to really make it happen here, because these are winnable games. And if they play like they did today, any game is a winnable game. That Seattle game, they could go in there and win. Okay. Very positive stuff right now. A lot of good winnable games coming up, and they need to take advantage of that. Another note, Kirill Kaprizov has set the Minnesota Wild home game goals record, so goals scored at XL Energy Center or Grand Casino Arena. And he also, they mentioned it a lot on the broadcast today, he also passed Zach Parise on the all-time Minnesota Wild goal list. So this guy's, he's just a blessing. He played great today. He played great a lot of the season, every game, every season. He just needs to stay healthy, and this guy's going to be the best Wild player of all time. really. So he's going to have his jersey hung up in the rafters if he can stay healthy and just keep doing what he's doing. I mean, that's the simple truth to it. We got to win a playoff series sometime, but Kirill Kaprizov is up there, and he's only going to keep climbing. So it's great to be. I mean, it stinks because all in Minnesota sports, you have Anthony Edwards, Kirill Kaprizov, Justin Jefferson. Twins really don't have that standout guy right now, but you got to make something happen now. The Wild are. I mean, all these teams have to make something happen, but the Wild specifically. So all good there. All right. Now I think it's time for a little Gopher pregame thoughts. All right. Gophers at home, Wisconsin. The battle for Paul Bunyan's axe today, 2:30. Should be a good game. Just another mid Big Ten matchup against two almost 500 teams. I think the Badgers are coming in at 4-7. Gophers are 6-5 right now, bowl eligible, coming off of a very bad loss to Northwestern. Could have won that game so many times. Defense was terrible, and I mean, the main thing was the defense did not get one sack, and they had 3 pressures against Northwestern. Northwestern didn't have one sack after leading the Big Ten in sacks all year. So absolutely terrible performance last week for all, except for the offense. Javon Tracy, 3 touchdowns. Drake Lindsey was airing the ball out, and it was phenomenal to see. Darius Taylor had a big game. And today, honestly, it's just going to be a perfect day for Big Ten football this late in the year. So I'm looking forward to it. First thing for the game, make Wisconsin throw the ball. Wisconsin's had quarterback troubles all year. They haven't had consistent quarterback play from anyone, whether it be Billy Edwards or anyone else. They have not had consistent quarterback play this whole year. And so if you can make them throw the ball, and here's the thing, I know our secondary has been horrible. And you look at last week, and Preston Stone had his best game ever last week against the Gophers, the Northwestern quarterback Stone. But I blame that solely and a lot more on the Gophers defensive line getting just like I can count them on my fingers, the amount of pressures they had that game, and 0 sacks. So it's out. You cannot blame all of that on the secondary. The secondary's been bad, but for this game specifically, the secondary, it's a rivalry game. The secondary, everyone's going to come to play. The defense is going to have at least 1 sack. And they're going to get to Billy Edwards or whoever's back there for Wisconsin. And I think the defense will have a great day today. I really do. But stop the run, load the box. Okay. Get into the backfield, have some TFLs, have some sacks, and it'll be a good day for the Gophers fans and Gophers players. All right. On offense last week, like I was a little bit saying right there, Drake Lindsey, Javon Tracy, Jalen Smith, even Malachi Coleman had a big catch in the end. And Malachi Coleman's our 5th wide receiver on the depth chart. I mean, if you're counting Logan Loya over him or under him, it's all really opinionated here. Drake had a great day. Okay. Northwestern's defense is really nothing like the Badgers' defense. Northwestern's defense lacks in a very few key positions. But the Badgers, I should say, are not great against the pass too. But their run defense, the Badgers' run defense has been ranked the first-ranked run defense in the Big Ten I think for the majority of this year. They may have dropped off the past few weeks, but the majority of this year, I keep wanting to say the Packers or something, but the Badgers' run defense has been stingy and great. They get into the backfield, but they also have a good set of linebackers that really know how to read the gaps and see where those running backs are coming from and read them. So going back to Drake, I know it'll be colder, not great conditions, and they're going to want to run the ball a lot. Okay. They're going to want to establish the run game because, to be completely honest, this game is built in the trenches. And really, every year between Wisconsin and the Gophers is never going to be a shootout, except maybe 2019. We're not going to go back to that one. But This game is won in the trenches, running the ball, getting good protection in the pocket for some short throws. Lemecky Brockington, his last game, could have a good game. I don't know, but I want to see Drake air the ball out. Last week, he showed it. Malachi Coleman with 3 minutes left. Jalen Smith is a stud as a freshman. Javon Tracy with a few deep balls, but Drake Lindsay, he's gaining touch on those balls, and I think you just need to let him air it out tomorrow. You got to end this year. I know we have a bowl game, but like end this year, kind of like what we want to see next year. I want to see Drake throwing the ball more. I get the run game. The offensive line is always good for the Gophers, or at least reliable. So give them time for some short throws, and then you can kind of build in those deep developing routes. But air the ball out. I think it's that simple, and I think that's what the Gophers need to do to win tomorrow. Kind of catch the Badgers defense off, or kind of catch them wanting to stop the run. But if you can catch them over the top, I think you'll have a good chance tomorrow. Yeah, and I think that's honestly, I think that's really all I have. I mean, there's not much to talk about. It's a trenches game. It's a Big Ten game. Big Ten games are won in the trenches. Everyone knows that. It's not the SEC where both teams are putting up 42 points to win the game. All right. I think I'm ready for my prediction. Right now we are in a better spot. We started the year out 0-6, and then we came back with 2 wins on a Wild and T-Wolves game. And then the Wild play the Avalanche, and yes, I picked the Avalanche to win the game. I didn't think the Wild could do it. I doubted. I jinxed them, maybe in a good way. But the Wild won. Now I'm 2-7 on the year. Just absolutely embarrassing again. I can't go on another losing streak. That would just break me mentally. So tomorrow, the Minnesota Gophers will win 20-13. They're going to score 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 throwing, and they're going to get a couple field goals. Wisconsin's going to find the end zone once, but they're going to get a few field goals too. 20-13. Gophers win, and hey, that deserves the band right there. Either way, that's all we got here. Gophers win. A lot of good stuff from the Wild right now. Tomorrow, we'll have Jack back on, and we'll do a Twins free agent target list. And I said that a few times now, but tomorrow we actually are Twins free agent target list. Tomorrow we're also going to be looking at the Vikings game day. Max Brosmer, former Gopher quarterback, starting for the Vikings. So we're going to get into that tomorrow and our game wants and needs from the Vikings, what we want to see. But other than that, for today, Twin City Sports Talk, I'm Bruce. We'll have Jack on tomorrow, but I will see you guys tomorrow then. Go Gophers.